Before this podcast begins, I want to come on here and let you guys know that We Are Wrestling. We send our love, we send our condolences to Terry Funk's family, friends, and fans during, this time. And we also want to send our love and condolences to Bray Wyatt's, fans, friends, and most importantly, his family, his wife, his brother, his sister, his dad, during, this tragic time. And before this podcast airs, I just want to put a disclaimer out that when Ben and I recorded this episode of the podcast, this was on Thursday before the Bray Wyatt news came out. So there isn't a Bray Wyatt segment in this podcast. But if you guys want to go check out the Bray Wyatt tribute extra, recommend you guys to go check that out on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. Such a beautiful tribute. We honored the legacy of Bray Wyatt, one of the most creative minds in this business. And in this podcast, we do, honor Terry Funk, and we talk about him for a little bit. So if you guys are wondering why we don't really talk about Bray Wyatt in this podcast coming up, it's because this was recorded before the news came out. Just wanted to put that out there. And all of us in, the wrestling world right now, we're dealing with this different. And, man, it's a very sad week for pro wrestling. We lost, two legends in this business who gave it their all. Terry Funk was one of the most, iconic legends in this business. He's been all over the world doing what he loves. Even went to Hollywood for a little bit. And, my time, I, known him for his ECW run and the Attitude Era. And he, was one of the best veteran wrestlers out there, and he gave back to the business so much, and, for the stars of tomorrow. And Bray Wyatt, man, one of the most charismatic characters of all time. And he was so creative that WWE didn't even know what to do with him. And sad that, we lost two legends in this business, and We Are Wrestling. We send our love and condolences to both Terry Funk and, Wyndham Rotunda during, this tragic time. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoy the newest episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast 71. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, and rest in peace, Terry Funk.
We are wrestling. We are wrestling podcast.
They give a shout out to We Are Wrestling on YouTube.
Batista! You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent.
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling.
What's going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. Ben here, the third of the talk show.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
And
We are wrestling.
what is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It has been the second half, 1/3 of the podcast. How you guys doing today? We got a great show for you guys. First, We Are Wrestling 71. And before we get into all that good shit, Don, take it away.
Unfortunately, this week on the We Are Wrestling podcast, Danny is unavailable, but I do have a special guest here with Ben and myself, and that is Mick Foley's best friend, Mr. Sacco!
Hey, let's get it, dude.
He's a We Are Wrestling maniac. But before we dive into the topics and all the good stuff for this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling maniac yet already and you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just a 5-star review, but a best one review, and download the episode. But if you're watching this and you're not a We Are Wrestling maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands
What's the Beth Phoenix?
of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real.
Real as fuck, boy.
And this Sunday, tomorrow, AEW All In. All Elite Wrestling has their biggest show in their company's history, performing
Wembley.
in front of 80,000 people. And on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, we have a predictions video where Danny and myself, we give our predictions on, all the matches. We dive into it, give our thoughts on the storylines and all that good stuff. Recommend you guys to go check that out. And I've been posting a lot of videos over on my personal channel, Best One Donnie. Been doing a bunch of toy hunt videos and toy reviews. Just recently went to Walmart and found myself a good old Hollywood Rock, enjoying me some Sacramento disses with this figure, having a good time. And Ben, you also have been putting some content out over on your channel.
Yeah, it's been a busy last couple weeks in the day of the week of the Lone Rager, I guess. It's like I said, it's been growing. I think the last time we talked about it, I think I just hit like 5K or something like that. I'm about to hit 6K, and it's weird because once you hit 10K, you're basically like you're like considered. I wouldn't say like an influencer because I fucking despise that word so much because I don't like to influence people other than the good natures of like mental health and all that shit. But yeah, there's a lot of shit coming out recently. Like there's bangers left and right just dropping, and if you like your passion for pro wrestling, like I'm a huge fucking fan. There's like certain things I'm a fucking mark, but at the same time, your passion for wrestling is like my passion for music. Like it genuinely love, breathe, and enjoy music. Like it genuinely moves me and eases my soul. So there's been a lot of good shit coming out recently. I'm about to embark on an NF rabbit hole dive. So if any of you We Are Wrestling Maniacs are fans of NF and would like to see a Homeboy's first listen and a very animated reaction to that, make sure you subscribe to the Lone Rager on YouTube.
That's right. And Danny is also putting out a lot of reactions as well over on his channel as well. And all three of us were posting lots of content all around. But of course, we all come back to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. And Sunday, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself, the Lone Rager Ben, and Danny are all going to be doing a live watch along for AEW All In.
Yeah,
it's going to be Ben's first time watching a full AEW pay-per-view, and it's going to be a great long stream. We hope to see you there.
AEW anything in its entirety. I haven't seen. All right, I'm about to out myself so bad. I'm about to get shit on. I haven't seen a full episode of anything AEW, period. So this is like my first, like I'm forced to be sitting here and watching crazy shit. So this is the make it or break it situation, and you guys get to see it live tomorrow on Sunday for the first time ever. So basically, the fucking stream title is not only going to be AEW Wembley, but it's also going to be WWE Mark finally watches AEW. Like, this is like my cleansing. Like, this is me being thrown to the sharks, and I'm in uncharted territory. So if you guys want to see my first legitimate AEW experience, make sure you fucking watch tomorrow on Sunday for All In, because it's going to be nuts.
That's right. Live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, Ben is popping his AEW cherry, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm fucking, depending on how good the show is, that cherry is fucking going boom. It's not even just popping. Shit's blowing the fuck up.
And that's the thing I always say about like getting into pro wrestling. The best time to do it is during a pay-per-view or to show after the pay-per-view,
Especially
because then you're all caught up.
Dude.
Because we start off with new storylines and you
what-
really get into the product easily.
And what a fucking way to introduce like a massive like day one WWE fan with their biggest show in history so far, and like the biggest show of any sports entertainment pro wrestling venue period. Like Wembley is fucking huge, bro. I don't know, has WWE matched or fucking gone over those numbers before, or is this like the biggest fucking event in wrestling, like in terms of attendance?
I think WWE has matched this. I think back in 1992 they had SummerSlam at Wembley. I could be wrong. I know they did have a show in like a stadium.
Okay, but they
in the
had more in
UK.
attendance and tickets sold.
I don't know. I don't think they had this number. No.
Okay, well then again, the biggest number in attendance. So yeah, what a way to fucking introduce yourself to a whole new world per se with very familiar faces. So I'm hoping, and this is for me, like I do have expectations, and I'm hoping that this pay-per-view really pays off, because this is on all y'all's reputation right now. This is you guys having to deliver with all this hype you've been spitting for these
Me
past
and
couple of
Danny.
years. Yeah, this. If anything's going to make it or break it, son, you're going to have my verdict at the very end of the show. Once it goes to black, then you can ask me officially how I felt. So,
And honestly, I can't wait for you to watch this because, man, AEW, the show is looking great. And honestly, I'm super excited for this live watch along tomorrow, only on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. But speaking of, some sad things that have happened in the pro wrestling world this week, unfortunately, Terry Funk, hardcore legend, one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, unfortunately passed away at the age of 79 this past week. And the We Are Wrestling team, we want to, send our love, send our condolences to, Terry Funk's family and, all the workers he worked with and all the fans and all of his friends, during this time.
yeah, man, like everything you said in tenfold. I couldn't have said it any better. It's always a very bittersweet and unfortunate time when, a very beloved and legendary pro wrestler hangs up the boots and closes the curtain for the last time. It's always a really shitty feeling. But he left behind a legacy for a lot of people to live up to. I mean, he's trained a lot of our favorites. He's influenced a lot of our favorites and really shaped the future into what it is today. And his Hall of Fame speech was so fucking moving. And that was 2009 when Dusty inducted him. Like it's fucking It's crazy, man. And the fact that, he broke on and, commenced his wrestling journey back in, 65 or something like that, 65 or 67. And he just hung up his boots in 2017. Like, that's incredible. Like, at 73, that's fucking incredible. That's a 40-plus year long standing career. There's only a few people that are still kind of going, even now when that's, just to name one, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, that dude's had fucking complications left and right, but the dude lives and breathes it,
Jerry the King Lawler as well.
Jerry the King Lawler, it's really fucking unfortunate, but I think something that I'm really looking forward to is like his resurgence and a lot of his material and content, and because a lot of people are going to go back and watch a lot of his things that have been very affected and touched by his untimely passing. Well, not untimely, but his passing.
And that's the thing too.
so
like
that's
I do
something to
want
be
to say as
grateful for.
well about
that
all
provides for
this,
the family.
because Terry Funk has been one of the most selfless pro wrestlers in our history. He's given so much to the sport and the new generation of wrestlers.
And the dude just
I've
has
seen so many
natural-born
independent
charisma.
wrestlers make posts about this whole Terry Funk thing and sharing their stories and the advice that he's given them. And he's always gone the extra mile for his fans and all these independent wrestlers where a lot of legends that go to these shows, they don't have to give you the time and day. And some of them don't. They're just there to get a paycheck. But Terry Funk was one of those guys that, he admired his work, and, he wanted to teach the new guys, what he knows, because he knows that, his knowledge can get passed on to, the next generation. And honestly, like, being, an old school fan, I've learned to love and I've learned to appreciate his work. He's been all over the world. He's done the extra miles, and man, some of the feuds, some of the matches that he's had, all-time greats. And for me, man, my favorite, moment with Terry Funk has got to be Attitude Era, Chainsaw Charlie.
Yeah.
Love that character, man. Him and Cactus Jack winning the tag team championships at WrestleMania 14. Loved it.
Hell fucking yeah, man. But yeah, I just I'm really, really stoked that at least the resurgence in a lot of people's deep dives back into his material is definitely going to help provide for the family, because like residuals and everything like that. So I think that's going to be a really great thing. And my God, just the natural born charisma on the guy, So I just one of like a very entertaining and very convincing performer, and that's something that tells a story for the test of time.
And to a lot of the new school wrestling fans out there, recommend you guys to go on YouTube and go check out Terry Funk and, Mick Foley matches. They're some of the best back in the day, man.
Hardcore legends, man.
But, like we said, we want to send our love, send our condolences to Terry Funk and, the entire wrestling community. And most importantly, his family and friends who have traveled the road with him. And he's had an incredible life. And he got to live out, a dream that a lot of, us pro wrestling fans, want.
It's the dream gig, man. And, we're very lucky that an individual like him was immortalized. So he's not really gone. So,
hey, he's always going to be remembered, for generations, for years. And with that, legendary career, honestly, man, he deserves his flowers. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But now let's dive into the highlight of the week. And we actually might have, there's been a lot of wrestling since the last time we recorded the podcast, because last week we couldn't record it on Thursdays like we usually do. Instead, we recorded it last Wednesday before AEW Dynamite. And man, what a crazy week for pro wrestling. Started off with AEW Dynamite last Wednesday. We had the whole freaking Leatherface bullshit. I flipped out and I stopped watching AEW because of that for Dynamite last week. Then, going into Friday Night SmackDown, we saw, Edge, his final match in WWE against Sheamus in Toronto. Such a beautiful moment. Then, of course, we go into Monday Night Raw. Just, a typical episode of Monday Night Raw. Then, of course, NXT, they have their show Heat Wave. And then on Wednesday, we had AEW Dynamite, the go-home show for All In. So, Ben, out of all the things that, I just brought up, what would be your highlight of the week?
So my highlight would definitely have to be the speculation surrounding Edge. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because we're going to be diving in deep on it in the main event. So that's all I'm going to say is everything Edge right now. That is my sole focus in the pro wrestling world at the moment, while the bloodline is kind of hung up right now.
So when are we going to dive into the Edge news?
The main event!
So obviously the highlight of the week is definitely Edge. Like, there's no question about that.
That's
but
a big draw, man.
I'm gonna pick a silver medal. I'm gonna give a silver I'm gonna give a
Sliver
silver medal to somebody this week, because Edge obviously got the gold medal.
Can I give an honorable mention real quick?
You can give your silver medal.
Chad Gable and Gunther, and the fact that he gave Gunther his first L. That is something.
Count out.
Yep, but still gave him that first L. That's building momentum for Chad Gable, who is beyond deserving of a title reign and Intercontinental. The next Kurt Angle, the most American as American can get in terms of representing the old school mad is sacred fucking shit that Gunther's given. It's Chad Gable, and that dude can fucking
He deserves to win the IC
dude,
title next.
He fucking German suplexed the fuck out of Gunther over the fucking rail, dude. I saw that shit. I was like, damn. I was like, he flipped that boy. He flipped that boy like a motherfucking fucking pancake. Austrian pancake. Sorry. But I got dumb hyped. I was marking the fuck out, dude.
I was so happy as well. Which, by the way, to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that are listening to the podcast, if you go to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, there are reactions to Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, and SmackDown. You know, consistently. I'm posting them on there, so recommend you guys to go check those out.
Chad Gable is getting his flowers, and he's literally finally being put over as like basically this. He's basically being put over as like the new generation's Kurt Angle, but it's working. Like it works, especially with his moveset. He is basically the next Kurt Angle. Like it just naturally works. His head's even fucking shaped like Kurt Angle. He even has the beefy ass neck. I'm like, bro, let's go. Let's go. Kurt Angle part 2.
His catchphrases are over with the crowd. The Alpha Academy is very entertaining. I'm glad that Chad Gable is finally starting to get the recognition that he deserves.
Because he's a fucking professional as it gets, dude. Like, the dude is nuts in the ring. Like, yeah, is his gimmick a little goofy? Yeah, but he fucking makes it work. And it's just, he's over as fuck. Like, it took one switch for everything to flip, and I couldn't be more excited for the dude. So that has to be my honorable mention.
So, Chad Gable, you gave him your silver medal.
Yes.
He's going on gold. I'm having struggle here coming up with who deserves to have a silver medal because, man, Dynamite last night was absolutely nuts. And here's where I'm having trouble picking which one is my highlight of the week.
Is Chad Gable your other like choice that you're kind of competing against?
He gets the bronze medal, hands down.
Okay, so he's your third. So what are you debating between? Is it 2 AEW things?
2 AEW things that happened.
All right,
so the first thing that happened, we had a segment happen between Chris Jericho and Will Ospreay selling their match, and my God, I was not excited for this match, but if you guys, I'm telling you, if you're not into reactions, this is one reaction video that you need to go back into the We Are Wrestling vault and go watch because, man, Will Ospreay sold me immediately on this match, and I'm very excited for it. Last week, I could care less, but, man, Will Ospreay did a fantastic job calling out the entire AEW locker room, talking about how his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling is up in 6 months and making this match feel important. And then Jericho, he's not doing his stupid wizard shit, Jericho Appreciation Society, Inner Circle shit. He's being Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
and that's when Jericho's at his A game.
Didn't everybody in the JAS quit or something like that? So
everybody except Sammy Guevara.
Oh, including Jake Hager, he quit too?
Yep.
That was like his dick rider, so I'm kind of surprised.
Well, Sammy Guevara is his dick rider right now.
Even though Sammy's definitely gonna fucking screw him at All In, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I think. But you can check out my predictions on that, with the All In predictions, which is available on, all the podcasting sites and of course, the YouTube channel as well. But my other one that I gotta, I'm neck and neck with is, Christian Cage, man. He is a cold-blooded bastard.
Oh yeah, dude. Some of his best work is when he's heel, and it's even better when he has creative control because he really sells it and he knows what he wants to do.
Yep. Christian Cage came out and pretty much was coming at Nick Wayne because his dad died, and he was talking about how he could be his father.
Oh, no.
Saying that his dad, he said that his dad, nobody knows who he is. Dude, Christian went in. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and that segment was horrible. But then when Christian came in and saved the day, I think.
Yeah, man. Like I said, Christian is just one of the pros, dude. Like he can. Let's face it, he was fucking teamed up with Edge. I mean, like that just should say it all. Like those with the benefit of flash photography knows what's up. So like the dude can literally play it all, and as a heel, like I said, it's some of his best work. So I'm really stoked on Christian and the fact that he gets another run too.
And before we dive into our topics for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, I am gonna say this, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of heat in the comment section below. When it comes to Christian and Edge, I've always been more of a fan of Christian than Edge.
Bro, you need to get bitch slapped. You need to get bitch slapped. You need a best one smack in the face. That's fucked. I can't believe. Wow. You're a bitch. I need to scratch my ears to make sure I just fucking heard that right. Hold on.
While he's scratching his ears, guys, up next, we have our
Sorry, I
topics
don't
for
hear
this
bitch.
week's
I don't
episode
speak bitch.
of the We Are Wrestling Podcast 71. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling.
You got MJ in the house, Marty Zanator here with Don, and we are wrestling.
Collecting has always had a special place in my heart, going all the way back to when I was a kid. I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us and waking up on Christmas morning to a bunch of new action figures. I had bins filled with thousands of rare WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA figures through the years until, unfortunately, I ended up selling my whole childhood without knowing the true value of my collection. 2 years after I made that horrible decision, the pandemic hit, and I realized there was a part of me that felt missing, and that was collecting. My whole life, I've loved collecting wrestling figures, wrestling memorabilia, classic video games, Nickelodeon stuff, sneakers, Funko Pops, and even Angry Birds. As time went by, I decided I wanted to get back into collecting, except this time, document it and rebuild my collection over on Best One Donnie. So, if you want to go back into time and relive my nostalgic memories, subscribe now. We're back, and our first topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast 71. Last week, we saw Cash Wheeler of FTR get arrested. The incident happened on July 27th, where there was a road rage incident where the victim alleged Wheeler flashed a firearm at them. A warrant was issued for Wheeler the following day. He was released on a $2,500 bond and has to surrender all his weapons to the authorities. But he is able to travel still to Wembley Stadium to, compete in his tag match against the Young Bucks. What's your thoughts on all of this? Because, man, Friday, that's literally all the news that came out was Cash Wheeler, being arrested.
So, I feel like the most dramatic fucking people in the world at this point are fucking professional wrestlers. That's like genuinely what I'm starting to think. Because people out here getting arrested for the dumbest shit possible. Now, obviously, I wasn't there. Obviously, we weren't there. We don't know the situation. We don't know what got him to quote-unquote flash his fucking piece around. I don't know. But it comes down to, was it really necessary? And do you think that your life was that at stake? Especially if it was like a traffic incident. So it was obviously heated in some way. Like, obviously accidents and like almost accidents are scary. Understandable. Sometimes emotions get misplaced because obviously shit like that can shake you to the core. Now, I don't know what people in their right mind think it is to just pull out a gun or just whip it around just to kind of establish some sort of dominance. I don't know where he was, so I don't know what the gun laws are out there, but I don't think any law says, hey...
It was in Florida, I believe.
Okay, well, even in Florida, where a lot of fucked up shit is, like, allowed or just frowned upon and not illegal at this point, I get it, but what? It's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. It's like, I get there's a lot more looser gun laws everywhere, but there is no fucking law out there that says, hey, flash your fucking piece. Establish dominance. It's dumb. It's just another one of those dumb fucking incidences, and I don't know, man. I want to talk about it without getting political, but I feel like that's where it's just gonna go. So I think it's dumb, and yeah, I just think it's fucking dumb.
Hey, that's, fair. I feel like that's a fair opinion about it.
Yeah, man. Just the gun laws and gun shit in general has just been so burnt out right now. It just like...
Right now it is at an all-time high. And
then to
this
fucking
is
mix
why
in
we
wrestling
have
drama
a
with it.
wrestling
Oh my god.
podcast, because we don't want to be covering what Fox is talking about.
Yeah.
And all of that good stuff.
Nope.
But I'm going to say this about this whole incident. Why a few weeks before AEW All In
Seriously.
is this happening? Why? This
And
is not
you're-
a good look for AEW.
He's in the public eye too. So I'm like, what in your right fucking mind? Unless your life is clearly being threatened, you do not whip that shit out at all. Like especially if you're in the public eye and very well known. Because not only does it shit on your reputation for your future endeavors, but it makes your company look like shit, like you were saying. So, and there's a lot of shit that is going on in AEW between Jeff Hardy, fucking this guy now. It just,
CM
I'm
Punk
sick of
versus the
arrests.
Elite.
I'm sick of arrests. Yeah, the fucking Katie bullshit drama over there. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I just want to fucking watch wrestling. I want to just enjoy my time. I want to break kayfabe. I just want to fucking do it. I just want to watch it. I just want to enjoy it. But it's just surrounded by bad juju. And that's, I think that subconsciously is another reason as to why I've drifted away from AEW, is because of just the drama that I know that lies in it.
Yeah, but there's also drama in WWE too.
That's true, but it's not as...
But it's more structured
there.
in AEW.
And it's not as fucking out there as AEW. Like, you could be like, oh, this person called her a bitch. It'd be headlines in AEW. You'd hear it like once in WWE, and it'd be turned into a storyline, and then boom, it's over. You're still hearing about shit between the Elite and Punk almost 2 years after the fact. Like, it's fucking
One
nuts.
year, but
Well, 1 year,
I
but
get the point. I do get the point.
it's gonna go on for another 50.
But, with this whole thing, it's unfortunate because I love Cash Wheeler. I love Dax Harwood. I love FTR. They're my favorite tag team in all of pro wrestling right now. And I know Cash Wheeler, he has a clean record. He, this is his first time. And that's the thing. Like, we don't know the whole story. We don't know, the other alleged victim. And there's two sides, to every story. It's just unfortunate that, this, got out there. TMZ, everybody, reported this. And the big thing I look at it from is AEW All In, man. We're right around the corner, and this comes
to do
out.
some shit like this.
That's the only issue that, it's not the only issue I have with this, but it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
the big issue,
hopefully Cash Wheeler, he turned in all his weapons like he was supposed to the authorities, and hopefully this man can stay out of trouble and continue doing what he loves and what we love watching.
Yep.
But moving on now to our next topic. This past Wednesday, in a contract signing promo battle with Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho said that AEW All In is bigger than WrestleMania. Do you agree with this statement?
Fuck no. I'm sorry, but listen, Chris, I get you have a product you need to sell. I get you have a job to do. I get you're trying to establish yourself as the next WWE, but here's the thing, bud. This shit hasn't even happened yet. So to say that premeditatedly is criminal. To say it's bigger than any WrestleMania is fucking criminal, because you don't have nearly the star power that a lot of WrestleManias have had if you're looking at the entire fucking WrestleMania fucking brand. You're out of your fucking mind, son. I don't know if it's the age. I don't know if it's just you've been doing well, you're living good, and now it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. I don't know. But that is a fucking senile thing to say. It's marketing. It's marketing. That's what it is. Like, you have to fucking sell your product. You have to make it and make believe that it is larger than life.
Hey, there's a reason why the Paul brothers, man, they're making bank.
But regardless, it's heat. I know. But
it's
regardless,
all marketing, man.
I know. But regardless, and I know that he knows he's going to get scrutinized for it. I know he knows that the shit he's saying is bullshit, or at least he should, because that is...
People are going to talk about it. That's the whole point.
But if we're looking at the facts, it is far from the truth. So again, you have a product to sell. I understand, but my God, that is ballsy. That's all I'm going to say.
In Chris Jericho's defense, I'm not saying what he said is 100% accurate or 100% true. Nothing's ever going to be bigger than WrestleMania because WrestleMania 1 was literally do or die.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon invested a lot of money that he didn't even know he was going to get back.
He
and
dumped his future
WrestleMania
children into
became
it.
very successful, and it became a year tradition that, has really, elevated the sport. But now, getting like with Chris Jericho's defense, maybe he feels this way because he built AEW. You do have to consider that as well because he was one of the founding guys in AEW. And you have to remember, All In, this was an independent wrestling show because Meltzer said to the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Hangman, and Marty, and Omega that you can't sell out a friggin' 10,000 seat arena. And what did they do in literally 45 minutes?
Yep, I saw it.
Sold out 10,000 people in 2018. Now, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23. 5 years later, you have to add 70,000 people to this.
Yep.
I feel like Chris Jericho, obviously he's doing it for marketing. I do agree with that. But I think he also is proud of himself because he did come into AEW and he, changed his career. Like he had to put people over and he really helped AEW get built to this moment here. So I think Jericho is, more proud than anything. And it's like, if you do accomplish something big, of course, you're proud of it. When you reach 5,000 subscribers on your personal channel, you felt very proud of it.
Yeah.
Myself, getting the first, We Are Wrestling YouTube check. Like they just felt proud because you're building something. And I think with Jericho, he's more proud of his run in AEW than WWE because in WWE, that's all he did was perform and he put on classics and, really made himself, a first-class Hall of Famer. But in AEW, he did more than just perform. He also helped, build this company from the ground up. And I think that's why he feels this way.
Yeah, I can definitely back that. I can definitely get behind that, dude. That's spitting facts.
Which is why, I can't, I can't just come out and call him, senile or crazy, even though I do think WrestleMania is bigger than All In. But I think, a lot of people, when you're doing this whole WWE, AEW thing, this goes to every single person. I just listened to a thing that MJF said recently on Busted Open Radio, and I kind of wish that this was a topic, but, of course, we were running, last minute on, getting all the topics together because, of course, All In is right around the corner. And MJF even said, why are fans, making this a whole war? All of us in WWE and AEW, we want to make the most money possible. And having, AEW as an alternative, that is helping the wrestlers make more money. And AEW All In, all of these eyes are going to be on the product. 90,000 people have already pre-bought this pay-per-view. And there's already going to be literally 80,000 people watching. This is a huge win for pro wrestling. And
absolutely.
The momentum for wrestling has not been this high in such a long fucking time.
Yeah, man. They're really thriving right now.
But yeah, no, Jericho, I do respect, his opinion about this, but nothing's ever going to be bigger than WrestleMania because that's what put pro wrestling on the map. Let's call it like it is.
Yep.
But moving on now to our last AEW topic before we go into, a break. Tony Khan recently, has been doing a lot of media calls because AEW All In is tomorrow as, this podcast comes out. And he told the Chaz McCabe show that he believes Sting is currently on one of the greatest runs of his entire 4-decade-long career right now in AEW. Do you agree or disagree with this?
Fuck No, I'm sorry, but like this dude is a fan of his own penis at this point. Like, I'm sorry, but Tony Khan, man, he is fucking hilarious.
Can I share a funny story before you give your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, man.
You need to come to an AEW Dynamite show with me
No,
one
I
of these
don't.
days.
No, I
No,
don't.
you really do, because one of the
Why?
funniest things that happens, all right, 1 minute before they go live on the show, Tony Khan comes out from the tunnel, and he's going back and forth with Justin Roberts, and this is him. Hold on. I don't want to be too loud on the mic, so I am going to step back a little bit here. Here's what he goes.
Excuse
Ready?
me?
And he has his eyes closed when he's talking, of course, or he has his
Yeah.
eyes open without blinking. Here's what he does. So he's like, "Are you guys ready for AEW Dynamite?" And then, "How many more seconds till we're live, Justin?" 90 seconds. And then Tony Khan goes, "Boston, I love coming to Boston. It's such an amazing place for pro wrestling."
Oh my god.
Dude, he is such a mark, but I love
Yeah,
it.
dude. Like, yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
But I also
See,
hate it at the same time.
this dude is just like his own hype man at this point. Like this dude is his own fucking party. His own hype man. He don't need nobody. Like he fucking like lives, it fucking breathes AEW and the Jaguars. That's all he fucking breathes is AEW and the
Soccer team
Jaguars.
that him and his dad own too.
Yeah, dude. Fucking thank God for fucking Shahid Khan, dude. Fucking what's his name? Shahid or something like
Yeah.
that. Shahid Khan. Like, thank God for his dad, because my God, his son is so passionate about his. He loved his toys when he was growing up. Like that dude lived and breathed all his fucking
Oh
toys.
yeah, he had his
and
fig
it's the
feds,
same-
man. He
Yeah,
had
dude.
his fig feds.
That's what I'm saying, bro, and that's exactly what this is. Like, I'm sorry, but
I really hope he comes out
Sting
during All
has-
In, and you get to see this of
I
him
hope
just
so.
marking the fuck out for this
Okay,
show. It's
so-
amazing.
I'm down. But to say that, bro, this is another, like, it's not even just marketing. This is a Chris Jericho thing where it's literally like, all right, you should have shut up like 10 seconds ago, man. Like, you keep going.
I don't know.
like-
I feel like the difference between Jericho and Tony Khan is Jericho is obviously marketing. I think Tony Khan
Yeah.
actually believes.
He believes his shit. Like, he believes it's good shit. This is his Vince McMahon moment. Like, this is his, like, all hands on deck creative. Yeah, no, I will 100% say that this is a lie. This is false, because arguably Sting's best run was his TNA run. Like, his TNA run was fucking phenomenal. Like, I loved his shit in WCW. Do not get me fucking wrong, and don't at me.
I was
there
gonna
was
say
something
nothing beats WCW his run.
But there was something about Sting in TNA that just stood out, and just like there was something different about him that just like he had a whole new attitude. It almost felt like in TNA, like he was in his prime. It felt like this dude was like not really at like obviously like the end of his tank, because here he is in AEW still doing crazy shit, but he was like, again, he was at like the Orton in fucking, I want to say like 2009, where he was just fucking at his like most aggressive, dude. And Sting, man, in TNA was just another fucking type of beast. So even just right off that bat, like Tony Khan's wrong, but like, put his WCW shit up there when he was like first introduced as fucking Crow Sting. That's it, man. I'm sorry, but like that's like the bread and butter, man. You can't compete with that. That was where he obviously debuted the most iconic Sting look. But then you move to TNA, and then you see what he accomplished there, his feuds there, his ring work there. It was incredible. So you cannot fucking say that, dude. Especially when he's at the end of his career, you can't. Like Sting can still go, but he's not the Sting from then.
So my thoughts on these comments here. Tony Khan, he's very delusional when he makes a lot of these comments.
It's all that
because
weed he's
one
stealing.
of us. He's one of us. He's a wrestling mark. And hopefully one day he's a We Are Wrestling maniac as well. That would be pretty cool. But
some fucking We Are Wrestling. Sorry.
I would love that if he did something like that for us promotional wise. But getting back into the whole Sting thing,
The
here's
Sting
what I gotta
thing.
say. Nothing beats his WCW run. But
Team is
now
damn close,
I'm
though.
not even gonna consider WCW in this conversation now. I think that Tony Khan even knows nothing beats his WCW run. It's obvious.
Nothing.
But let's talk about his, TNA run, his WWE run, and of course, his AEW run. And I'm going to say this. His AEW run has been better than his WWE run. And a lot of that is due to, unfortunately, Sting, getting an injury against Seth Rollins at Night of Champions with,
Okay.
the buckle bomb.
The Bugle Bomb.
I will say I have enjoyed his AEW run. I love that he's mentoring Darby Allin. I think that that's a great spot for, Darby.
fuck yeah.
And, I think Sting being by his side, it works so good. They both have
really
great
does.
chemistry, and
They both have
built
relatively the same
such a
style.
they've built such a strong friendship out of this as well. And you can see it on TV because it's like a reaction video. Like when I'm reacting to, AEW Dynamite, you can see my genuine reaction, and people can read through bullshit. And
Mhm.
Sting and Darby Allin, they have great chemistry, and I love the
authentic.
pairing of them. And Sting has had some pretty iconic moments in AEW, definitely better than a lot of other legends that, Tony Khan has signed. I will
For
say
sure.
that. But you can't erase his TNA wrestling memories, man. And I grew
will
up
say-
watching Impact Wrestling, and my God, his run in TNA was so iconic.
Buddy, I'm gonna admit something to you. I will say already thus far, his run in AEW is better than it ever was in WWE. So I will admit that flat out. He belongs in AEW compared to fucking WWE in contrast. So I'll give Tony Khan that. Is his creative with Sting has been better.
Now the debut, I will give WWE
fuck yeah,
over
dude.
AEW, even though we had no idea Sting was showing up to AEW.
Yeah, but still.
But WWE, man, the Survivor Series, it worked out perfect.
Yes.
I won't take that away from WWE. But,
Oh yeah.
getting back into this whole, greatest run of his entire, decade.
False.
Dude, we can't erase TNA. Like, the best thing that Sting did in TNA, not only was those iconic matches that he had with Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, another big thing was the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
That was such a great faction in TNA, and Sting was just so good, and he was putting on classics with everybody, from the no-names to, the TNA originals to, the legends, the former WWE stars. Sting was really killing it in TNA, and I feel like we can't really discredit that run. But I feel like the reason why Tony Khan is discrediting it, and I think a lot of people forget about this run in TNA, it's because TNA is not the same company that it once was. They've gone into a full rebuild mode.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Tony Khan, you need to chill a little bit. Maybe blink your eyes a little bit or something.
He needs to fucking chill out on all that weed he'd be stealing from his superstars.
Oh boy. But I thought that was just
It's out there.
Wild. But up next, we have our comment of the week, which will only be one comment because Danny said so, and the We Are Wrestling Maniacs said so. But I will address that up next, and we do have some WWE topics to cover. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling 71.
What's crackin' everybody? WWE Hall of Famer, The Godfather here, and you're listening to, that's right, you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check them out, man. Stay on that smoke train.
Are you looking for wrestling content? Well, We Are Wrestling provides everything pro wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Danny Hawkins, and the Lone Ranger Ben are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We Are Wrestling has it all when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are Wrestling Maniac now. We're back, and we want to, let all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know that tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel for the AEW All In watch along. This is going to be a very historic moment in AEW history, and we hope that you guys, watch the show with us because it's going to be a long but fun stream. But now, every week on the We Are Wrestling podcast, we do this thing called Comment of the Week. And before we go into our one comment of the week, I did say this, and unfortunately, Danny is not here, so hopefully Danny watches this. Danny, you were right. I was wrong. One comment of the week. The We Are Wrestling Maniacs have spoken. We did a poll, and one comment of the week won. But there was this one We Are Wrestling Maniac that did suggest that myself, Ben, and Danny pick one comment every week, which honestly, I really do like that one the best. But we're going to have to wait and see. But for now, we're only going to be doing one comment of the week. So, the one We Are Wrestling Maniac out of hundreds that I had to pick. And if your comment did not get picked, hashtag blame Danny in the comment section below.
Hashtag blame Danny. Facts.
So, our comment of the week is from @the Big Homie.
The Big Homie. Okay, what's up,
And
the Big Homie?
He commented this. Why are you so high on JD? What are you seeing in him or have seen from him?
Like JD McDonough?
JD McDonough.
Well,
Because in the reaction videos, every time the Judgment Day comes out, I mark the fuck out when I see JD McDonough, and I've been a pretty big fan of his work.
My guy,
What are your thoughts on JD McDonough before we answer this?
Directed directly at the Big Homie. Have you seen his skill set? He's basically the modern day Chris Benoit. Like, he has a lot of Chris Benoit.
You saw that reel too?
I did too. I saw that reel, and I also went and I actually saw it in motion, with a few of his matches. And I have to say that dude is Chris Benoit bred, which obviously now, unfortunately, you have to differentiate what you mean by Chris Benoit bred, and I mean his in-ring greatness. And he really does pull it off. It's a smoother, less stiff version of Chris Benoit, and I think that this dude could really go for the stars if booked correctly and is put in the right angles. So I think JD McDonough is definitely one to be behind.
So, this isn't the first person that has asked me about my thoughts on JD McDonough, because I have been very high on him going all the way back to NXT.
Yeah.
And I see talent from a mile away. And one thing that, for me, I'm always, considering when I get behind a superstar is vignettes, promo packages, character work. And JD McDonough has done that for me. If you go back and watch some of his NXT vignettes, they're pretty cool. He comes off dark, he comes off, sick, and it honestly works for him. Doing this whole Irish Ace thing, I love the character work for him. And honestly, it makes the Judgment Day more watchable because now you have somebody that's trying to get into the group. He, Finn Balor has been mentoring him for who knows how long. And honestly, there's a lot of momentum going on right now on the Raw brand with the Judgment Day, with the whole Damian Priest and, Finn Balor, leadership issues. And, Mommy is just over as fuck with the crowd. Dominic is just getting
Mommy.
And
I think I just blew
with
a load
JD
in my belly
McDonough,
button.
I just know the talent that he has, and honestly, I want to see him, succeed on the main roster. And I think the best way for, an NXT guy that has a lot of talent in the ring to succeed on the main roster is getting put into a group, because that way, he's being seen every week on, regular television. And then, the fans, they'll get to see him, and then eventually he will become one of the top, guys.
Yeah.
And I think that he's a solid mid-carder at best.
Okay.
But yeah, so congratulations to the Big Homie on the comment of the week. A lot of people have been asking me about the whole JD McDonough thing, so I figured we picked that one. But if you want your comment featured on a future episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you have to do is comment on any video over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. And I can't pick 5. I can't pick out 3. I can only pick out 1. And if you don't like that, go in the comments
blame
and
Danny.
hashtag blame Danny. And every person that does that, I will acknowledge you in an episode that Danny is on with me.
Definitely. That'll be
You
your
heard
comment
it
of the
here
week.
first, ladies and
Hashtag
gentlemen.
blame Danny.
But now moving on to some WWE topics for this week.
Let's go.
It was announced that John Cena will be returning to WWE television September 1st episode of SmackDown. And he will be wrestling in India for one of their, superstar, spectacular.
Yep.
What's it
Spectacle.
called?
The Superstar Spectacle.
Well, John Cena will be wrestling at, Superstar.
Spectacle, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be wrestling at Spectacular. Fuck.
Yeah, anyways. So, yeah, John Cena will be wrestling in India at Superstar Spectacle, and he'll be also on the September 1st episode of Friday Night SmackDown to build up a match for that pay-per-view. And to give you what I think about
It's
that...
not going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be just a regular
a special live event.
Special.
I will say 100% it is for the draw to get eyes on India product. It is also to keep his one match a year or wrestling every year consistently on his record. And that's all this is. John Cena is obviously, if not the biggest name in history, realistically, when it comes to professional wrestling. I mean, the dude is on massive amounts of people's Mount Rushmore. I mean, the dude carried an entire, the wrestling brand on his back for 20 fucking years. Like, the dude is obviously one of the greatest to do it. So to have him on a show like that to expose India for their brand, yeah, that's all this is. It's nothing big. It's not going to start a whole big rivalry. There's no speculation. It's just for the viewership and for the draw.
And I already can see it happening in India. It's going to be John Cena probably versus Grayson Waller.
Probably. More than
because
likely.
of what happened at SummerSlam. It only
Yep.
makes sense. If it's going to be like a one-off type of thing. But honestly, I'm hoping to see John Cena wrestle at a Premier Live event at least. That's coming up, maybe Fastlane. I feel like that would be a good one for him to wrestle. I don't know. I feel like just him showing up on SmackDown just to, advertise a random match on a show that a lot of people aren't going to really tune into because it's not a Premier Live event.
Let's make
I don't like that.
Let's make a fantasy guess.
All right, so
what if John
who
Cena...
would you like to see John Cena wrestle?
Okay, this is... I'm going to get shit on because it's such a hot topic, but I feel like it's a match that should have happened. You're going to be like, no, that's not going to happen. This is why it's fantasy, bitch. So before you fucking stop me...
Okay, let's do it at the same time now, all right?
No, I'm not doing it at the same time.
3, 2, 1.
Edge.
Fantasy booking.
Oh, fantasy booking. Oh, I thought we were going on who we're going. Edge. That is like, my dream thing, because if you want a massive draw in this India Live event, this is what you're going to do. Edge's contract is not officially out until the end of September. That's confirmed. There are still a couple people I would still like him to face, and if there's anybody that should end his career, arguably, it's John Cena. They should both hang it up at the same time. If you want to make this interesting, if you want to have this be an explosive fucking draw, you'll have John Cena come out to promote the spectacle, issue an open fucking challenge. Just an open fucking challenge to put on a fucking banger of a match for India's first premium live event. Well, just live event, or whatever the fuck it is. Hit the fucking music, Edge comes out. I would lose my shit, even just for nostalgia, because we get that match again, and I feel like it's a match that should have happened. If anything, that should be Edge's final match at WrestleMania, if you want my fucking opinion. That is what should happen. But for nostalgia purposes, and the fact that he still has a couple matches, or still has time left on his contract, if you want a massive draw, that's what you'll do. That's what you do. Because that is fucking mind-blowing at that point. That's a match nobody saw coming at this point, and that's a match we've all needed in this run, is Edge versus John Cena again. That would be fucking insane. Like I said, you'd be like, oh, it's not going to happen. Fuck you, all right? This is a fantasy booking.
No, I am not going to say that to you because...
Thank you, you're not Danny.
Last week, you both shitted on me when I said saying that Edge and John Cena should wrestle because of what happened at WrestleMania with Austin Theory. I know it was especially Danny who shit on me for saying that.
Yeah, I'm more open-minded. I'm more open-minded.
Yeah, I was saying that from the get-go.
Okay,
but
yeah, okay. Well, I apologize now.
All right, and I accept your apology. Hashtag blame Danny in the comments section. But now, I got to get into, John Cena here. I am hoping that this is more than just, a one-off thing for,
We all do.
India. I think that this is cool that John Cena is doing this because, of course, he is going to put a lot of
Busy
asses
schedule.
in seats. So I really do like that he's doing that. But I hope that there's more to this. And, John Cena has, done the miles. He carried the WWE, for years. So he doesn't have to do this. But honestly, I would love to see John Cena try to go after Roman. And here's why.
Again?
Here's why. John Cena won't get to Roman because he's going to have to fight Solo Sikoa.
I would love Solo
and
Sikoa
that
versus
right
some
there
big
could
names in general.
definitely elevate Solo Sikoa even more.
Dude.
And you can have more eyes on, Solo Sikoa, and people are going to say, oh my goodness, he's a legitimate threat.
This is off topic, and this is for Solo. If it wasn't for Chad Gable, I would want Solo to beat Gunther because that would be a heavy-hitting fucking match. Umaga versus a fucking tank. Like, yeah. Yeah, give me that. Speaking of which, I have Umaga on WWE 2K. I have Umaga.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. I gotta say, like, Solo Sikoa, this would elevate him even more because obviously it's only a matter of time before we get Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns, which I think realistically happens at the Royal Rumble. And I think that if John Cena tries to call out Roman Reigns, Roman's not going to give him the attention because, of course, he lost to Austin Theory at WrestleMania. He already lost to Roman Reigns a couple years ago at SummerSlam. And, Paul Heyman could even say, if you want to go after my tribal chief, you have to go through Solo Sikoa. And, Solo Sikoa actually gets put over in this situation. And he can take John Cena out with that spike.
I want to see fucking Paul Heyman get an F5 from fucking FU from John Cena.
Yeah, the FU, not the apple juice adjustment.
I have never heard that in my entire life. The apple juice adjustment. I'm gonna do that to my kid now. Instead of call it the attitude adjustment, I want to call it the apple juice adjustment and just fucking
the apple juice adjustment. Super Cena.
Oh my god, that's funny.
But yeah, no, I think that John Cena should try to go after Roman, but it doesn't work out. Solo Sikoa takes him out with that spike, and it puts Solo Sikoa over, and it'll make the match for Roman versus Solo later on more important.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd beat John Cena too. And next. Yeah, that'd be sick.
So, moving on now to our next topic. We just covered a little bit of SmackDown and what could happen. Well, there's rumors going around that Damian Priest will be the one out of Judgment Day, not Finn Balor. What's your thoughts on this, and how would you book this?
It's obvious, 100%. I mean, Damian has always been teased as the one that's going to be leaving because he's going to be on to bigger and better things. He doesn't need a crowd, and I think that's what we're going to get when we get the fucking Archer of Infamy back. Like, it's going to be solo Damian again, and that's what he's needed. I mean, the dude has the briefcase. Right now, he's kind of stagnant because that's what is the main focus for him right now. Like, he's kind of still doing interesting angles.
Money in the bank.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I mean, like, I don't really care about booking because regardless, the end game is going to be... I feel like I know a lot of people say it's the journey, not the destination, but for Damian's sake, it's the destination because I've been saying the dude's a future world champion since he made his main roster debut at the Royal Rumble. Like, I've been saying the dude's built for it. He just needed some time to really adjust. He's needed some time on the mic. He's needed some time to really form who he is, have a good heel turn, and then come back to where it all started, And I think that him leaving is honestly the best choice because it'll allow fucking JD McDonough and fucking Finn Balor to be together. And that's going to bring some more interesting elements to the group where Damian already kind of stood out already in terms of like his height and like where he is in his weight class and like, where his stature really leads.
Hey, let's not forget about the matches he's been putting on.
100%. 100%. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like Damian would be able to stand a little bit better on his own than Finn. And I feel like Finn's work in Judgment Day is not over yet. I think that there's still
I
a lot
will
more
say
to
this,
do.
man. I got to agree with that take because Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, that made me more interested in
Yes.
Finn Balor as a heel, as
That's
the
what I'm
leader of
saying.
Judgment Day, because they did a
100%.
fantastic job with the video packages. They did a
Bro,
fantastic job
yes.
with, selling this as like, I'm going into SummerSlam and I'm going to hurt you because
I
of what
feel
you
like
took from me.
I feel like honestly, it's the best choice because Finn is more of a veteran at this point, and I feel like he could really elevate everybody else that's in Judgment Day before he goes back on his solo run to capture a world title. I think Damian needs his time because we're at a perfect fucking timeline right now. Like if we keep going on this track gradually, he's going to be the next world heavyweight champion. I don't think he's going to be the one to throw off Roman. I think he's going to take it from Seth. And honestly, it fits. And that belt's going to look phenomenal on him. And I think it's all going to be worth it. I think that Damian's just going to leave. I don't think he's going to get betrayed like Edge. I think that he's just going to leave Judgment Day. I think it's all going to culminate with a feud between him and Balor. And maybe even for the briefcase. And Damian takes it,
You know
I
what I
think
would
that
have
Damian's
done?
going to clear ring. I think Damian 1 is going to clear the ring. And hot take, mark my fucking words, he's going to put Rhea Ripley through a fucking table. Mark my fucking words. Mark my fucking words. He's going to go off. He's going to clear the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to clear fucking
first.
ring. And he's going to be the first one to be like, bitch, I know you can take this, and put her through a fucking table. Because literally everybody else, if you noticed, has been too afraid to fucking knock her back, not Damian. So I think
if
that
you put her through a table, that's going to be insane.
That is going to be the ultimate face turn, and then that's going to allow Rollins to go back to being a heel, and then taking some time off.
Nah, Rollins won't be a heel.
Well, maybe to take some time off, 1 for his back, and 2 just to take some time off because he's been going nonstop since he came back from his knee injury. So I think him and Damian, that's gonna what brings him on his fucking vacation. So I think
here's what I would have done.
Yeah,
especially now finding out about this whole Seth Rollins back injury thing, I'm actually kind of pissed off that they did not have Finn Balor beat him at SummerSlam more.
Because that could have furthered the story
Seth
between
Rollins,
him and fucking Damian.
That's why I wanted Finn Balor to win the World Championship.
Would have made sense.
Damian Priest didn't cash in at SummerSlam. He still has the briefcase. You could have built more of the regular Raw shows.
It would have benefited everybody. Because here's the thing. You got Seth to be the inaugural champ, which is a fine choice. You get to have Finn be a world champ for a while, which he got robbed of.
And he can injure Seth, so Seth goes on the side.
Takes time off.
And makes Finn Balor, this legitimate threat.
Does his fucking physical therapy for his back, maybe a surgery if he needs it, takes time off with his family to really build himself again physically, really build himself again mentally. And then you can really organically build the feud and the tension between the briefcase and the belt, Finn and Damian.
Yep.
It would have been perfect for everybody's sake.
And then
but
guess
course,
what they could have done, Ben? Here's what they could have done. They could have built this until the Survivor Series, and then Damian Priest finally turns on Finn Balor. Imagine the massive pop because Finn Balor is dominating with that world championship.
Yes.
Priest gets that moment, and it could have even been, towards the Rumble. So that WrestleMania season, we got Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. And that would have been fantastic.
If he goes back,
Seth beat Finn because I knew from the get-go, and I know I got a lot of criticism when we did, the live watch along for SummerSlam. You and Danny were like, why are you getting so pissed off about this? This is going to further it. Yeah. I know long-term, if you gave the title to Finn and you had, Damian with the briefcase, that would have built even more tension. That would have made more sense on Raw TV. And it could have definitely went all the way to WrestleMania. Priest could have had that big babyface moment that would have put him over. Yeah. And Finn Balor, on the other hand, he could have legitimately injured Seth like he was going to do. Mm-hmm. Seth could have actually, because he's legitimately hurt right now, take time off. And then eventually, when Seth Rollins is ready to come back, he can go after Finn Balor.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. So I am kind of pissed off when I found out the Seth Rollins injury news. I will say that. Because, man, Baylor and Priest, imagine Baylor had that world title. The Judgment Day would be taken more serious.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have to wait and see with what happens. Honestly, I will say this. Ben, you and Danny were right. I was wrong. Yet again. Because, if in case you guys don't know, I've been saying that it's going to be Finn Balor who's going to leave the Judgment Day. And Ben and Danny, they've been saying that Damian Priest is going to be the one to leave. And honestly, it does make more sense now that, Damian Priest is going to be the one that leaves. I think Finn Balor, he benefits more from Judgment Day than Priest. I think Priest is ready.
Yeah.
But moving on now to our last topic before we get into the main event topic for this week's episode. Recently on Road Dogg's podcast, oh, you didn't know? He was asked who from AEW that he would like WWE to sign. He stated this. Immediately, I start thinking, okay, who's the most marketable guy that I think of is out there in any other competition? And I don't see any of that like you have to have. You know what I mean. Punk coming back would move the needle in a big way. I don't know how relationships are with that, but, I think that would move the needle. And so if I had to say somebody, it would be him. But I would only say him from a controversial standpoint. In my mind anyway, because I think he's a controversial figure at this point, and I think that's good for business. So that's why I say that. Do you think CM Punk to WWE would be a big needle mover?
Absolutely. And we know that just by the history. Like, we don't even have to go over it. Yeah, just based on history, yes. And I'm going to even give you the first feud. His first feud would be with Randy Orton. Because imagine the shit talking between those two and the fucking shots that would be fired. Ridiculous. And that's the only person I could really see really making an explosive feud with CM Punk upon his return, because that goes back decades.
Seth Rollins.
Or Seth Rollins, like there is a
they
roster.
Both legitimately hate each other, man. They both have gone out and said shit.
That's what I'm saying, man. So yeah, that would be big for a numerous amount of reasons. So yeah, no, that he's not wrong. That's my thoughts.
And that's the thing, man. Like, Road Dogg is looking at it from a business side of things. And obviously, if there is one person from AEW that you would want to take, it's obviously CM Punk. He's the one that's making the most controversial news right now. And guess what? In pro wrestling, controversy makes money.
Mm-hmm.
And CM Punk, I think, going back to WWE would be a big thing, because obviously
at that point, AEW's drowning.
Because we never even thought that CM Punk was ever going to return to pro wrestling. And for him to come back to WWE after everything that happened in his career over there, all the bad things that happened, that would make headlining news.
That'd be the thing that'd be talked about for the next 5 years at least.
Absolutely, man. And I think that Road Dogg is definitely not off. And I know there's some people that probably would, consider Jon Moxley as well, because, of course, there's Roman Reigns, there's Seth Rollins.
He likes bleeding too much. It doesn't matter.
But I don't know. Here's the thing about Jon Moxley, and I'm going to say this. I love Moxley, but man, his run has gotten stale.
Yeah.
I love the Blackpool Combat Club, don't get me wrong. But man, when Mox had that chance to take a 6-week, vacation from AEW TV, I wish he was able to do that. But unfortunately, due to the whole media scrum, he had to come back immediately. He never really got that break. And I think if there's anybody that could benefit from, a couple months off of TV, it's Mox. Because literally at All In tomorrow, he's not even in a singles match.
Yeah.
He's fighting in a stadium stampede match. It's going to be a fun one, but a guy like Jon Moxley, who, in the Pro Wrestling Illustration is one of the top 5, should not be wrestling in a 5-on-5 match at your biggest show. So I think CM Punk is definitely the best option, I think, realistically. And we recommend all the We Are Wrestling listeners and watchers to go support, Ben's personal channel, The Lone Rager, And go support my personal channel, Best One Donnie. Ben, he's posting music reactions over on his channel, and he's also doing podcasts with other reactors. And over on my channel, Best One Donnie, I'm doing toy hunts, I'm doing toy reviews, doing wrestling figure unboxings, Funko Pops, Nickelodeon nostalgia, all that good stuff. So we recommend you guys to go check that stuff out if you're looking for, another entertaining type of content. But now let's dive into the main event topic for We Are Wrestling 71.
Boy, let's do it.
According to PW Torch, there's reports that Edge presented WWE what it would take to retain his services, but WWE declined to meet his request. This has sparked a belief within WWE that he is probably heading to AEW and knew at the time what AEW could offer him, based perhaps on the conversations with other wrestlers of his star power about AEW pay. But these reports that did come out from PW Torch are false. Earlier today, as we're recording the podcast, Edge went on social media and posted a video saying this. Roll it.
Morning, everybody. That's how I look in the morning. It's not pretty, but need my coffee for this. So I woke up to a bunch of voicemails, texts, and everything from actual friends and family, wondering what's going on and concerned and blah blah blah. So I just figured I better address it. There's nothing going on. There's no hard feelings between me and WWE. I love WWE. It's my dream gig. It's all I ever wanted to do, and I didn't come at them with some crazy contract or anything, and they didn't deny me. I have a contract extension sitting in my inbox. I just don't know what to do. The first time I had to retire, it was forced, and this time the choice is in my lap, and it's a lot harder. WWE gave me that night, Friday night in Toronto, and it was the best night of my career. A lot of people will say you should retire at WrestleMania or this or that, but it's not their career. That Friday night was really special for me, and I don't know if that can be topped, to be perfectly honest. And if we think we can, then great. But I need to sit with it and just know that whatever it is that I do, whether it's Percy Jackson, which is coming up soon, or it's wrestling, or it's sitting in my rocking chair, it's because I'm having fun, and having fun at this stage of my life and raising my kids are the two most important things. So hope that clears stuff up. I'm going to go back to my coffee. See you.
After listening to what Edge had to say, Ben, what do you think Edge's future is in pro wrestling? Do you think he is going to show up in AEW? Because I know we talked about this a little bit last week on the podcast, but now that, Edge had that final match in Toronto, this is more real.
Okay. So I think, over the last week, you, me, and Danny have had some time to really sit down and kind of discuss it back and forth on the group chat and everything, and, we've talked about it. Obviously, Edge to AEW is a possibility, and it's a real one. It's not just, for fucking ha-has and what-ifs. It's a real possibility. Now, what's interesting about that video is he said, I left WWE. That was word of mouth from him. I left WWE. Now, he's still on contract, so yes, did he leave? Yeah. But is he under contract still? Also, yeah. So
Until
he also
September,
stated,
right?
Yep, end of September. So he said, and I quote, he is going to do whatever he think is fun right now, whether it's in his rocking chair, whether it's wrestling, whether it's Percy Jackson, which is coming out, whether it's his acting stuff. He said whatever it's fun, it's harder to do. It's harder to really want to do more on the basis that he's been doing. It's possible that, he still has a couple matches to do on WWE. Like he said that there's something special. I mean, it's believable that could have 100% been his last match because Beth and his kids were in the stands as actual viewers, front row. So we already know what that usually coincides with and foreshadows. So, that makes it believable. I could see him popping up in the indies and doing some signings and stuff and here and there matches. I could see a stint in AEW with Christian to end his tag team run. I could see him coming back to WWE to end it permanently where it all started. And I can also see him coming back here and there throughout the years for matches, like matches or a special guest ref, hosting something like a WrestleMania. Like, I could see that shit happening. But I think his run as a even part-time wrestler is done. I think that with where he's at mentally now, where he's at physically, and just where he's at in his career and in his mind, he has options now. It's like, I don't have to wrestle anymore. I could go somewhere else. I could focus on my acting shit, or I can just fade off into the sunset entirely. So there was no confirmation on what he's doing, but he also didn't let us know what his plans were, but he indicated that there are plans. And obviously, if you know personally, you know that he's been hanging out with Christian a lot more lately, and there's been some talks between, obviously his pay and what he could be offered in AEW, and obviously it's known that he knows what they could offer him at that exact moment when he presented an offer to WWE. His star power would be amazing in AEW, and it would be a dub. It would be a dub for wrestling in general. It'd be a lot more eyes on the product. There'd be a lot more people jumping ship and going over. Anything is on the table at this point.
That's if Tony Khan doesn't fumble it.
I'm just happy for Edge. I'm happy that he's got the last 3 years extended off of, what was supposed to be immediate and permanent retirement. So knowing that he has options, I wouldn't be mad if he jumped over to AEW for a little bit. Not even in saying this now, it's going to be a one-off. It's not going to be a full-time thing. It's not even going to be a part-time run. It's going to be a series of matches and a storyline build-up with Christian, and that's it. I don't think he's going to be sticking around. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, WWE fucking Hall of Famer jumps ship and, just stays there for, a number of months. It's not going to happen. It's not. And I just, like he said, he is pushing 50 in October, and it's getting harder. And with a triple fusion, that can only go so far,
but the AEW schedule is a lot easier than WWE.
It is, but if we're being real,
and more
I will
money.
give you, again, if I'm being real and I'm giving you my honest answer, I can see him going to AEW, yes, but for any type of run, no. No chance in hell. No chance in hell.
So he's not going to wrestle, you don't think?
No, I think he'll wrestle, but only a couple matches for one storyline and with Christian. Whether it's together as a tag team or fucking an angle between them both at first leading to a tag team match, a final Edge and Christian match, I can see that. But a run in terms of like months, like a legitimate run, no. Maybe like a month, but that's it.
So I've been going back and forth on what I think is going to be Edge's future in pro wrestling. And this has, been creating some conversation in our group chat. And I know Danny, he's not here to really talk about it, but
good.
I think we both can, speak for Danny. He wants to see Edge in AEW.
Of course he does.
And he wants to see him, be with Christian. And that's absolutely fair.
That's fair.
Totally get that. But now, here's where it's so fucking hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Edge has been a WWE guy since day
one.
And this is why, for me, it's so hard to think about seeing Edge on another big-time show like
Again,
AEW.
I don't want him to fucking do it, but I could accept it if he did.
And of course, I can accept it as well, but that's the thing that makes this so mind-fucking, is that he's been a WWE guy since day one. He's had opportunities to go to TNA Wrestling. He's had opportunities to go other places, but he's always stayed loyal to Vince and WWE.
Yeah.
And that's why, even watching SmackDown in Toronto against Sheamus, it felt like Edge's last time ever in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's so mind-fucking because
So
I could also see Edge going to AEW, having that run with Christian for, maybe a year or two. And then when their contracts are up, they go to WWE and they have, one final match and then they get to retire.
I don't see the year. That's my only disagreement with everything you just said is the year.
Because
I don't see that happening.
Here's why I say it's going to be like a year. It's because Edge, man, if he's going to AEW, he is getting the fucking bag. And I don't think Tony Khan is going to want to rent Edge for a couple months. He's going to want him for at least a full year.
See, here's the thing. I think Tony Khan would be willing to rent Edge for a couple months because here's the thing. At that point, he has the guarantee. Like, Edge is coming to AEW. Like, that is enough for anybody. That is a loyal WWE day one. And to even just have him there and make an appearance on the show, you already know that is a massive fucking draw in one show. That is going to be the most viewership he's ever fucking had. Because Edge, we never thought in a million years he would show up anywhere else. So yeah, I think he would be willing. But if there's one thing I have to say in response to what you said, and why you said it was like hard because of his loyalty to Vince, if there is only one person on this earth that he is more loyal to than Vince, it's Christian. And he is in AEW. So that's what
Plus,
you have to look
he's very
at.
close with FTR as well. Chris Jericho and him have years.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah,
it can go either way.
Because what's scary
makes it so interesting.
It's scary because it's a real possibility now. Like, it's not just chatter and what ifs. It's a real possibility, and that's what makes it so fragile and scary.
Exactly, because at first, like when Danny is like, talking, doing his little
out his ass,
out of his ass, like he does this a lot. So it's like, I'm just gonna, throw it under the rug, and that's how it felt with Edge. It's like, Daddy, come on now, he's done. But
Homeboy
now,
was
like, seeing the
it.
video, Edge didn't even say he was retiring from wrestling,
and he didn't say that he wasn't going to AEW because he would have said it.
He knows his value.
He knows his value, and he knows how to beat around a fucking bush. So that's why I'm like, yeah, dude, it's possible now. So it was one of these rare instances where Danny was not talking out his ass. He was onto something.
I think he was talking out of his ass, but now, like, he's just
real. So he's like, I was fucking onto something. You know that, dude. The moment that he fucking catches wind.
Down the street, and he found a penny, heads up, and he got lucky as fuck. That's what I think happened. And
we're never willing to give him authentic credit. We're never willing.
Never.
It's always on a fucking whim.
Anytime we give Danny credit, he's walking down the street. He's gonna go put the trash away, and he finds a freaking penny with heads up.
Oh God, we're awful.
But
we're
man,
awful.
I gotta say this though about Edge. If he does go to AEW, and I want to put this out there, this is going to be a bigger needle mover than CM Punk to AEW.
Yeah, because nobody in a million years ever would think Edge of all people. It's like Randy Orton jumping ship and going to AEW. We thought it was impossible. And here Edge is, Adam Copeland in AEW, because it's not going to be Edge. It's going to be Adam Copeland or just Adam. And
I'm going to say this as well. Another thing I do want to bring up, and this kind of leans more towards AEW. In about a month, WWE and Endeavor, they're merging. Mm-hmm. We're going to be getting a lot of WWE employees. They're going to be, getting cut because, Endeavor, they have employees that are going to be taking care of all this stuff. So it is going to be under new management and stuff. So, like, I can also see Edge, leaning more towards AEW because he's going to get better money, better schedule, creative. And he's going to be able to work with Christian. But here's one thing I do want to see. If Edge is going to do this, and he's not going to sit on that rocking chair and be a full-time father. Man, Northeast Wrestling, I might have to send this clip out to him, or any independent wrestling promoter out there that is watching this. If Edge does do this, whoever does not book Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys on your independent show, and you have the money to do it, because I know there's some independent companies that do have the money, you're really missing out on a huge opportunity.
Yeah, man.
And I won't be surprised if Tony Khan looks into that as well, because he already has the Hardys under contract. He already has Christian under contract. He gets Edge under contract. All he needs to do is get the Dudleys under contract, and they could do something, even if it's a segment.
I don't think. I don't think Devon's going through tables.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Devon's doing that, but a segment could happen.
Yeah, man.
But I think Bully is with Impact, so we don't even know like how long that's going to be.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to wait and see. But man, with this Edge news, do you think he goes to AEW?
It's possible.
It's very possible now, I think. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we close off this week's episode?
No, I think we covered it all, man. It was a good episode.
That's right. And to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, tomorrow we're going to be live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel for AEW All In. Myself, Danny the Mark Huckins, and Ben, for the first time ever, is going to watch a full AEW show. And it's not just an ordinary AEW show. It's the biggest AEW show. So it's going to be real fun. We hope you guys, join us in the stream tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, AEW All In. I can't wait for this card. If you guys have not checked out the All In predictions, recommend you guys to go check that out. Danny and I, we dive deep into all the matches. We, give our thoughts on the storylines. We give our thoughts on who we think is going to win. Great talk. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the things that we talked about. Do you think Edge is done with professional wrestling? Let us know. If you guys are listening to the podcast and you enjoyed this, make sure to download the episode. Give us a 5-star review, not just a 5-star review, but a best one review. And if you're watching this and you enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Ben and myself over on our social medias and our personal YouTube channels with awesome content over there. All the links down below. In addition, you want shorter clips of the podcast and you want some additional news, recommend you guys to go follow us over on our social medias for We Are Wrestling, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. All the good stuff, all the links down in the description below, including TikTok. And of course, to all the maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.